You're listening to The Watchers, a show where two women from opposite ends of New Jersey watch movies and TV about how everybody is just looking for somebody to offer to pay for their diabetic patient's Uber of their supplies to their home.
I thought you were going to say how everybody is just wishing for someone to sing them a lullaby in Tagalog.
Santos.
Yeah. So good. I'm Jody.
I'm Andrea.
And it's 1:00.
It's 1
in
o'clock.
The pit.
In the pit.
No one had lunch.
Nope.
They forgot their protein bars.
Good thing Whitaker's here, huh?
Clearly, none of them have ever had a fainting disorder, because if you don't have a protein bar or something like it in your bag, like, I cannot relate to you.
Protein bar, a little
piece of candy.
Little piece of candy, get your sugars up.
Honestly, hot tip for those of our listeners who probably already know this if they have a problem with getting lightheaded, but those little lychee candies that you get at the sushi place that they leave in a little bowl are killer to keep in your bag, because they're tiny, little pop of sugar. Fantastic for those moments. That's your PSA for the day.
You need a sugar and a salt packet, because you never, I guess, like, everybody's got their electrolyte packets now, but you need, just because you never know what the issue.
Correct. How was this episode for you?
I loved it. I think this episode did everything that this show is good at, and then showed me that it was good at other things too. I really don't have a negative note about it. I have some, like, come on, but it's all those things that I love about the show that make me say that, you know? How about you?
I thought it was great. There was a lot of, so I rewatched this morning, and there was a lot of, like last time when I was saying how I find it interesting to, like, kind of follow one character throughout the episode, like I was doing with Dana. I noted when I was making notes for this episode, like, the way that they're threading certain patients through, like, we've talked about this before, but, like, it was really noticeable to me this episode how carefully and strategically they're planning out who comes in more times in an episode, who is in the beginning, who's in the end. Like, it's just I would kill to see, honestly, their, like, storyboard for the season and see the, like, patients popping up here and there, because, like, I think we're going to start today by talking about Alana, and Alana has 7 separate scenes scattered throughout the entire episode. And, like, that's partly because it's clearly, like, the lead story in the episode. It gives Dana and Emma these, like, great character moments. It's a really important story to tell, but also that coming back again and again and again, and you're still in the same spot, is so psychologically tied to, like, the
re-traumatization of the
like
event.
How long the actual exam takes and all the details, and like, it's uncomfortable sitting there watching her go through it for a reason. And it's like, if they had 1 or 2 scenes with her, it wouldn't feel the same as if we come back to her over and over and over again, and she's still having to sit through this. Yeah.
I think they're also, in general, the longest scenes in the episode, especially for a show. Maybe that's not true, but it felt that way because this is a show, as we always say, that bounces from thing to thing to thing and then back. But they really, like, sat with her every time it felt a little longer than they normally do. And the scenes were, and for a show that is already pretty quiet's not the right word, but.
Well, music wise it is.
Right. It was even quieter, and it wasn't, I loved how unsensational it was.
Yes. Thank God.
Yeah.
Like, I saw someone on Reddit, like, literally, I like when people do this. It feels very, collaborative in Reddit threads on TV shows, where someone will post, hey, I have an issue with seeing this thing. Is it going to trigger me? Is it sensationalist? Right. And people were like, no, it's not, like, graphic. And because they've been so graphic with other things in the show that are less emotionally charged, like the guy's fucking penis that won't go down. Like,
right.
So I understand why someone would wonder, like, can I watch this if I've had this experience and I don't want to, like, be really re-traumatized? But I thought, as someone who hasn't had to live through that nightmare, like, I personally thought that, like, they walked that line between emphasizing how awful and discomforting and endless it felt without giving us more, like making it more graphic, I guess, than we needed.
It felt to me like a person having to decide whether or not to go to the hospital for a sexual assault who has seen this episode might feel a little more comfortable because it's something that I know about sane nurses. I know about rape kits. I know about all of that, but I've never had them explained so in depth or seen them, and knowing how careful the show is to be as accurate as it can be.
Yeah. And honestly, like, I have to say that, I mean, Dana is the absolute perfect person in this moment. Like you said, they do explain everything in great, careful detail, which is what the Pitt loves to do. But in this case, I think it's so great that, like, sometimes we roll our eyes. In this case, I was like, yeah, let everybody know the details of how this works, please, because, you know, demystifying it for people who might need those services is important. And then also demystifying it for people who have never had that experience to explain how hard it is. Because, you know, you always, not to get on a soapbox, but you always hear like, oh, why don't women report? Well, do you want to go through that? And then they didn't even have the cops in this, like have the cops like disbelieve you or whatever, you know, or have to explain to a man in a uniform in a position of authority who's not going to carefully sit down on a stool in front of you so he's not looming over you, like, to have a conversation. It's just, you know, one of those moments where the Pitt's sort of pedantic lecturing vibe is really, really great for this topic, I think.
I think so too.
Just a quick note that I found that I thought was super interesting. So PAR, the Pittsburgh Action Against Rape, is actually not only the first, it's a real place, it's the first rape crisis center in Allegheny County, but one of the first in the entire country also. Like, it's a real solid, like, actual place. I will say I didn't love the portrayal of the advocate. It was subtle. I think that they were trying to, like, get the information across quickly in the scene, and, like, they were prioritizing the interactions between Dana and Alana, but she came in a little hot in a way that an advocate wouldn't, you know, like,
I thought so too.
Yeah. Like I read, there was a girl, this is going to be a very Reddit heavy podcast, but I read a thread on Reddit started by a woman who does this job. And she basically said the same thing. She said, like, I get that they were trying to fit in this information and, like, they had to kind of have her come in and, you know, be a little more forceful than normal, but that the woman said, like, we do go to sit with people during exams, but it's a little bit like, she said the way Dana was behaving around Alana is more the way that they would have approached it instead of just because that woman was standing way too close to Alana. And so I think that, like, in reality, the people that are trained in those networks are more going to behave the way Dana did.
I felt the exact same way. Yeah.
Just a side note, the actor that's playing Alana is doing an incredible job with the subtleties of this role. I was just so taken aback by, like, how, just how the emotions, like, subtly shifted in her face the whole time.
Yeah, she was really great. I knew her from nothing. I couldn't figure out why I thought I knew her. You know who she really reminds me of is Evan Rachel Wood.
I can see that.
Even in the way she, like, the choices she was making, it was very Evan Rachel Woody. And I just, when they're talking about saints, when they're introducing them at the beginning, and then Data says more nurses should train for it, and then Dr. Al-Hashmi says, not so subtle hint. I'm like, they both should be turning directly to the camera at that point. Yeah. Like, that's for Emma, but I love having Emma here because they can say anything that's for us, and it can just be for
Dana's resident to explain things to us and to her.
Exactly.
Yeah. I also liked, I mean, Emma doesn't have a lot in this episode, but I like her as Dana's little sidekick, which sounds really insulting, and I don't mean it that way. I think she's, like, absorbing both the good and the bad from Dana on this day. But in this moment, I thought, like, especially at the very end when Alana finally agrees to take a break and she goes with Emma, and Emma says, let's go find the good snacks.
I know. I love that because I was like, oh, we're seeing, because I like Emma because she's been so hapless and not useless is a little too mean, but just so wide-eyed. And but you get to see these little moments where it's like there's something there that's going to make her good at this. Like the little moment with Louis.
We talked a couple weeks ago about how it seems like everyone in this ER has like their own little superpower. And like, you know, Dana's is just, she's great at being in charge and like, also having empathy at the same time, right? Like everyone has their thing. And I think Emma's is starting to seem like real care and empathy for her patients, regardless of who they are, because like Louis is not someone she would have had like a normal like interaction with necessarily that we know about.
Yeah, I don't think
you know. And like I think throughout the few hours we've known her has shown that she may be a little like, oh my God, what's happening? Right. But at the same time, she will like kindly look at you and find the thing to say that's not going to like make things worse.
Yeah.
As opposed to someone like Javadi who will like really say the wrong thing at the wrong time 90% of the time, it seems like.
She did a little better today.
She did a little better, yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But I also noted on the Emma front, like not only was that a really nice moment for her, but I also noticed that like we get a lot of shots of her watching and observing and reacting emotionally, but not overplaying it. Like when Alana is having to take her clothes off and put the gown on, Emma has her back to them, but we focus on Emma's face. And it's not overacted. It's pretty subtle, but it's like she is taking in the experience of what's happening around her and like really digesting it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. There are just a few little moments in those scenes that I would love to just kind of pause on for a second. And most of them are just to show how good Dana is. So like when Dr. Al-Hashmi comes in and is a little doctory with her, she's good. I can't complain about her here.
No, I noted she also sat on the stool as soon as Dana got up and got on eye level with the patient.
Yeah. But she says, she's like explaining something, and she uses she doesn't say contusion, but it's a word like that.
It's for bruises.
Yeah. And Dana says that means bruising, which is like translating for everybody in the room and for us, and just kind of like that little difference between, you know, because Dana is so much closer, like,
and has been trained.
Yeah.
The first time I watched it, I think I was like, I do like a watch to just watch. I don't take notes. I just watch.
Same. Yeah.
And the first time, this didn't get me in the same way. But when I was watching more carefully this morning, when she said to Alana, hey, this will not define you, okay? She got me. I started crying. I was just because like, it's such a specific thing to say to someone that is so like the unsaid thing that's going through people's heads in this moment is like, this is my whole life now. Now I am someone who has been assaulted, right? It was just such a beautiful thing for her to say.
Another small Dana's perfect moment is when she goes to reach for her to comfort her and then catches herself and puts her hands together, where it's like the human part of Dana versus the trained part, knowing that probably she doesn't want to be touched right now, or you can't assume that she does by someone she doesn't know without. Yeah. And it just is so.
Yeah, she's asking for consent the entire time, every step of the way, which of course is what you're supposed to do. And that's what the training teaches you. But you can see her fighting that natural instinct, like the motherly, like, I want to comfort you.
Exactly.
I just wanted to read a quick quote from that advocate I mentioned who had posted on Reddit about her experience. And she answered some questions. And I think this is our Pitt moment of like, let's do the more you know, quick little post from this person who generously shared their experience. One of the questions was, so what do you do during an exam? Because in this case, the woman from PAR offered to stay, and Alana clearly wasn't comfortable and just wanted Dana to be there. And so this woman said, so it really depends on what the survivor wants. I've sat quietly holding their hand or sat in the hall if they didn't want me there, just in case they changed their mind. I've talked them through everything that was happening, much like Dana did, so that they could just relax and not have to think about it. I've had people, this is what got me. She said, I've had people ask me to talk about literally anything else. I remember I gave one woman an info dump about women of the French Revolution. It's one of my special interests, and that's the topic she wanted to hear. Basically, I'm there to make you comfortable, whatever you need from me. If you want me to jump around doing Arrested Development chicken dances, well, baby, I'm doing AD chicken dances. It's all about trying to make a horrible situation more bearable because a rape kit takes hours and it's traumatic. Yeah, she also said that some places the police get called automatically when a rape kit's being done, which is horrific to me.
Oh, yeah.
And she said, the first place I did this was one of these hospitals. And she said, and so my job also entailed playing interference with them, sometimes to send them away because the survivor did not want to talk to them or advocate for them because cops can be horrible to SA survivors and not on my watch. So shout out to this Reddit poster for the information and for the work.
And yeah, absolutely.
And of course, Dana breaks at the end, which is like, I remember we said last week, like, I can't have Dana breaking. I need her to, everyone gets to break, but I just like, she's just the rock of the show.
It's such a Dana way to break too, because she holds it together so well until Alana leaves. And then it's quiet and you know that she lets herself feel it and then moves on with her day without jamming it down like Robby.
And she can't leave that room.
Yeah, exactly.
And now the system is down.
I can't wait to talk about all of the things now that you and I specifically have to contend with. Is Dana just, we'll talk about it. We'll get there.
Okay. Did you also have the Homestar Runner, The System is Down song in your head?
And of course they have to put in the obligatory old movie quote from some sci-fi movies like the system is down, the system is down, the system is down, the system is down.
Because I kind of do almost every day when something goes wrong. The cheat is having a light switch rave. To me, that was like, I could not hear that.
I've been in Battlestar Galactica mode so hard and I made it 20 minutes into this recording without saying that, and I'm going to wait until the end, but I will need to, just for 10 seconds, say how the show is also Battlestar Galactica. That's all.
Okay. Sounds good. Do we have anything else we want to say about specifically the Alana, Dana, Emma, or should we go on to Dr. Ellis napping in the
I think we
open
can move
room
on to the rest of the hospital now.
I have nothing to say other than Jesus Christ. Dr. Ellis needs to be coming in early every shift.
I watched this episode before you and I said they are really feeding us this week. That, the stuff with Dana and Alana was so difficult. And I think they really loaded the rest of the episode with just small little gifts. And also so smart of this show to be like, who from that now we know everybody fell in love with our night crew so fast.
Got to get them in the door early.
How do we get them in? Well, Ellis is here taking a nap.
She's working a double.
Being so cool. Oh, I love her.
Yeah, she's working a double, trying to rest somewhere. And when she blows Dana a kiss, I was just like, I've never wanted to be a nurse before. I hate blood. I hate hospitals. But I don't know. They're finding their ways to make it seem more appealing.
I would be useless in the CR.
Yeah, I know. Everyone is too pretty. Oh, I also just quickly, because this happened in the beginning, want to give a shout out to Lupe and her bet on lantern flies as the reason that the hospital shut down. I understand lantern flies are a huge issue on the East Coast. We have them here. They're in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York. But for it to be so bad that they had to shut a hospital down?
I mean, maybe.
Lupe, what do you think is happening over there?
I think, is it in Pittsburgh where I read somebody talking about the lanternflies being so bad on it might have been one of the people from the pit.
I'm sure that there is,
the wall of the building was moving, but it was because we got them bad in Jersey, but not like that.
I'm sure that there's a reason that lanternflies was a mention, but it was such a funny moment to me because of all the things to shut down a hospital. I was
when you have these betting pools so often, I feel like you start getting really creative, Yeah.
Yeah, they are everywhere, but Yeah, to shut down a hospital is
It has to be, yeah.
I pictured like a horror movie where the exterior of Allegheny County or Allegheny General Hospital is just a like swarming mass of like red and white and black bugs.
Lovecraftian, like,
yeah.
like breathing.
Yeah.
Pulsating.
But I appreciate her imagination.
Yeah, good for you, Lupe.
So after that, we go to chairs briefly. We see everyone fanning themselves with their patient passports, which I appreciate Al-Hashimi's sense of humor about that. But our next patient that we visit with is Harlow. And I think we should kind of, because this is another one of the big ones, I think, that is going to keep coming back. We should talk about her now. It's the most fucking frustrating thing to watch.
I know I got on my soapbox last week. Yeah. I'm not going to do it as much again, but I just need people to stop asking why she can't just write it down.
I know.
And again, legal reasons.
Yeah.
Also, like just fairness reasons. Access. Like I got on my soapbox again. I'm sorry. Go look online. There are plenty of deaf people and like medical interpreters and disability advocates. Like lots of people talking about this. Yeah. So just. There are so many good reasons why this isn't happening. And it is really frustrating to watch Santos shut down and do such a bad job.
But she legally can't start treating her. Exactly. She starts to think I think the reason she decides to just order a CT is because she wants to do something. But then again, you're like Robby said, you're giving her extra radiation and tests she might not need. Like, it's that feeling of like, I need to do something.
Yeah. I do love, it's a really good moment of, we keep being reminded always over and over again, of course, but there are also that Robby's a great doctor, but I love the subtle ones like that, where he is thinking about the patient in that moment and not, but also the VRI sucks, which is, I didn't know that much. I knew they existed. I didn't know that much about them. Until now, and I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, why I'm running my mouth about all of this and acting like I know anything.
I don't know if you have. I know why, obviously, but
I just so listeners know kind of the limits of my knowledge, where I feel confident speaking and not, is the first like real career I studied for was training to be a sign language interpreter. And so I'm not fluent in the language anymore because it's been a long time, but I was fluent. And I was well on my way into interpreting courses. So I have a lot of the general knowledge of this stuff, but not a ton of personal experience that way. So.
Right. But you know the like legalities around it and the way things should run and
a lot
of
the cultural expectations from the deaf community. And so that's again why I said like go, look online for actual deaf people and so the VRI for it not working here is apparently, I have learned, so typical.
Yeah. But also we have a cyber attack being attempted.
So next week, Kitsy might join us because I asked him a bunch of questions about stuff like that. It is very unlikely that the cyber attack is affecting the VRI.
I was just thinking like heavy internet traffic coming in if it relies on Wi-Fi for the connectivity.
Right. Yeah. I thought the same thing. And apparently like just from what and also again, it's just very typical. And so that's something that I want to stress is that this seems like, and I watched a bunch of different people talking about their experiences in hospitals with VRIs, and it is apparently so typical for this to be the case.
That's annoying.
So we can't even blame the freaking cyber attack. So that's all I'll say about that specifically.
We really don't find out much. It's really just more frustration. Like she's asking why we're doing this and why we're doing CTs and stuff. And Santos is like, just to be safe. And she's on the phone with IT trying to get the VRI fixed and they don't know what it is. Good
point. How can you fix it if you don't even know what it is? Something that, another reason, because my first thought was, okay, I understand we have to have an interpreter in here. She can't do that. VRI is not working. Because of these are medical conversations and because of HIPAA, you can't just like open FaceTime or Zoom. It has to be something HIPAA compliant. And they have services like that. But if it's not set up for that, because they usually have an interpreter or the VRI, you can't, again, just do that. That's another legal thing. And also, somebody online pointed out, great point, they're in the basement of this hospital.
Yeah.
So who knows what Wi-Fi's doing in that place? Like all of the computers are I'm guessing hardwired.
Are hardwired, yeah, of course. But ideally, like this is something the hospital would have figured out at some point.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah.
And then other point being that Kitsy reminded me of is that hospitals for equipment often contract and for years. And so they've probably paid for a 10-year contract.
Of course,
stupid equipment. And nobody up top is letting them upgrade or pay for new until that contract runs out.
And what they really should have is just more than one interpreter running around a hospital.
Exactly. But then, like you said, finally,
we get our interpreter,
Moshe Kasher, who is, this is when I texted you. I was like, okay, they're feeding me specifically. This Moshe.
Well, for people who don't know, go ahead.
For people who don't know, he's one of my favorite comedians. He is fluent in ASL. Both of his parents are deaf. He was a certified ASL interpreter. That was like his career for a while. The way I found Moshe was...
The way you found him as a comedian?
Yeah, both. The way I found him as a comedian was this video that went around in the deaf community and like the interpreter circles of this video of a deaf church and a guy signing why masturbation is wrong. And then Moshe interpreting over that video. So he had taken the video and then like interpreted it for hearing people, but was using more like idiomatic language. It doesn't work in translation.
So many things don't work in translation,
exactly,
as we're finding out.
Yeah. And so it's just very funny is all I'll say. But I found him first as a comedian who knows ASL. And so he's been a favorite of mine for a long time.
I found him just through comedy, I think. Like, you know what it was? It was one of those, was it Comedy Central? It doesn't matter. But it was one of those, like, you get on stage and you tell a crazy story kind of things.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called, but it's funny you mentioned that both of his parents were deaf. I had known that at one point and I'd completely forgotten. And I was just excited to see him because I think he's like the perfect avatar for like the sardonic, frustrated, sarcastic vibe that you want when dealing with this ridiculous system.
Yeah.
Like from moment one, he's looking at Santos like, what the fuck?
Right,
like,
because he probably sees us all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I like his attitude in it more than anything else.
He does one of my favorite signs that like, it sort of means I don't like it, but it's like,
yeah.
That like flick, it's really good.
Yeah. No, I'm glad he's there. I can't wait to see more with him and our patient.
Not Seymour, Moshe. Oh, the face.
Andrea.
Jody hated it, listeners.
That was awful.
Listeners, Jody hated that one.
That was bad. that one, rough. Okay, so we really didn't get much with Harlow. She's just, I mean, it's funny. They have two interestingly different ways of having these like long-term patient moments, right? We talked about the 7 different scenes with Alana. And with Harlow, the whole thing is waiting. We're waiting. She's waiting. We're all waiting.
And they're both about communication, too. It's like the lack of communication is why we haven't been able to move her story along. And then we get all of this stuff with Dana because so much of it is about communicating with the patient. So
yeah, we check in with Jackson's family. He's sedated, but Al-Hashmi and Javadi are working with them, as is Dr. Jefferson. Trying to explain what is happening and why Jackson can't leave.
Yeah, and then later in the episode, we get the reveal, I guess, that because they ask if there's any history of mental illness in the family. Jackson's mom says, not mine, which is
I know, that was pretty pointed.
Yeah, and we find out that I don't know. Maybe it's because I have a family full of black sheep, but and I can't judge how anybody responds to anything. But the idea that the reveal is that they have an uncle, the two kids in this, who killed himself, who died by suicide.
Yep.
But the family story was that he drank
himself to death.
And I just think, I guess the being lied to is troublesome, but like.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, I don't know that, number one, now I'm thinking through this, because I guess if I were the parents and I was worried that, like, talking about mental illness makes people mentally ill. I might not want to mention the suicide, and I might just want to blame it on alcoholism, especially if they already knew he was a drinker.
Yeah, I think that also coming from a family where all this stuff is so openly talked about that sometimes it's too much.
Yeah.
You know, I think that neither of us is equipped to understand this type of family.
Maybe I just need to recognize that and move on. Yeah.
Yeah. But like the mom, when he says that, Demi says he did that too. So she's not saying like, oh, it was one and not the other. It was like, well, both things can be true, which is
so
the case.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Jada is not thrilled that she's been kept in the dark. It seems like Jada and her parents aren't super close to begin with.
Well, yeah,
you talked about the creativity, career, and all of that.
Yeah.
And we get Javadi, like you said, having a slightly better moment where she goes to find Jada and comes up with some good things to say.
She had a little time to think about it, so that's good.
Yeah. She says, I know this must be scary for you, and you probably feel betrayed by your parents, but they had no way of knowing about Jackson, you know, and some families just have a difficult time talking about mental health. Now you can help us take the first steps to finding out what we can do to help your brother. So that was a good way to end that, where it was like, but you can do something, right? Not just like you're a pawn in this whatever is happening.
Yeah.
Like you can help us figure it out. That was I think the right thing to say.
Yeah, I think so too.
But yeah, that's it for Jackson for today. Yeah, the next person that we see patient-wise is Roxy, and she does not want to leave, as we mentioned last time. Super understandable. Robby at first, this was another moment of like, Robby is both and. He still has the empathetic side of him kicking in, but it takes a minute.
Yes.
His first instinct is clear the decks, get everyone out of here. Like, she doesn't need to be here. She'll be better off at home. Then when he actually sees what's happening and he talks to the husband, then he comes back with sort of the right thing to say to Paul. Because Paul wants to kind of force her hand.
He says, can't you order her to go home?
I know. Yeah, no, you cannot. She is an individual person with rights, and you do not have that control.
The kind of, she's being honest to a degree. She's not lying, but she does the sneaky thing of being like, and you know, maybe we'll get her pain managed well enough that she'll feel like she can go home.
Right.
Which does seem to reassure him, but is so not what this patient is hoping for.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that like what Robby actually says here, which is really great, he says, it may not, because Paul's asking what he can, like, why can't they do anything? I can't do anything. And he says, it may not seem like much, but right now, you being here for her and respecting her wishes is the best thing you can do for her. Supporting her and her choices is the most remarkable gift that you can give her at this time. And that does seem to get through to him a bit. And then with, like you said, McKay's reassurance, that seems like they're going to find her a spot.
We get a just quick little line with her kids.
Yes.
About the kid, their friend who's on the farm.
Hunting.
The 22.
With a 22. Yeah. I did note.
He's coming in? I hope not.
Oh my God. On a slightly sadder note, in that, not that this story isn't just sad, but the son, the older son, I just like, that kid is already, like, that is a parentified child in the making. You know, like when his mom passes and his father falls apart, that kid is going to have some shit to deal with. He's got a younger brother and clearly a father who is like not keeping it together.
Yeah. And there's, I think, as a non-parent, feels to me like there needs to be a real balance between not hiding things from your kids, but also protecting them. And I don't. This is probably
like the kids shouldn't have been in the room when they were having this conversation. They should have found someone to take them somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like the kid says, could we not talk about ghosts right now? Like, poor kid.
Really tough.
But, you know, it seems like they're going to McKay's going to grease the wheels, get her a room upstairs. Appreciate that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for Roxy. I don't know if we're going to see her again. We probably will a little bit more, maybe. But if she's going upstairs, maybe not.
Yeah, especially, again, with it only being one day.
Yeah. But I do think that there's more to tell there. And I wonder, because they didn't just bring her in to have this weird exchange with her husband necessarily. Like, I think that there's more they're trying to do with talking about like end of life care. And so I'm wondering, like, is a palliative care doctor going to come in?
Right,
Like,
are they haven't actually moved her yet? So
right, and they might not be able to for a while. So yeah,
that's a good point.
So, but. And again, to placate us with all of this difficulty.
The way this show reduces me to just the worst version of myself.
I knew that this is how he was coming back, but it's still so fun to watch. Dr. Abbott on his day job of working with the SWAT team as a medic. He's bad at golf, Andrea.
His therapist said.
And his therapist said he needs a hobby. So getting shot at seems to be a good way to spend your time.
I was thinking about it, and it's like, man, what an adrenaline junkie. Maybe just take the fact but also, like, if you do have this, somebody's got to do this job. It does need to be, as I've heard Sean Hannity say in several interviews in this last week, when they bring these people out, it usually is somebody who has training in both worlds. It does make sense.
He's the perfect person to do it.
But yeah.
But like night shift and day shift, like, buddy.
Know. But perfect entrance.
Perfect entrance, perfect banter with Robby. He says, I thought you already left us for the open road. And he says, and miss seeing you in uniform, to Abbott. And Abbott says, you should see me as a flight attendant. Stop feeding us this, like, the fan fiction that's going to come out of this show.
I've never been this person. I don't know maybe it's because, again, as we said, like, I haven't watched a lot of shows that are more like this. But, like, I'm not I don't mean this disdainfully at all. I'm just not a shipper. Like, that's not part of...
I'm not either.
I've like written about fan fiction and like kind of like studied it more academically.
Right.
Which is such a dumb shit thing to say, but it's true. But the way that I'm like, Robby is literally flirting with everybody on this show this week. And he's jealous, clearly, in ways. Like, they know what they're doing, and it is so funny. But...
Well, and everyone is being used as a foil for Robby right now in some way. And Abbott is too. Abbott's also teaching, right? He's helping Santos figure out what she's supposed to be assessing.
He does a great job here.
Yeah. He's also doing his like MacGyver techniques, as is Robby. Robby gets more MacGyver-y when Abbott comes around.
Totally.
Like, loves it.
Also, Abbott and Robby are foils for each other. Abbott and Robby are foils for Robby and Al-Hashmi, because you see how in sync the two of them are, how practiced they are, how they just know how their pieces fit. They both get their hands ready and they're both teaching. We do get to see Al-Hashmi with a patient for the first time this week, actually put her hands on them. But
right.
It's just so cool to see the dynamic of the three of them in a room together.
But I also think that, like, watching Abbott's reaction to Dr. Al-Hashmi is so satisfying. Like, so this is where we should talk about her and what's going on with her, because we do have her freeze again in that moment with Jackson, go into the bathroom and call her neuro doctor. One of the most stressful moments of this entire episode for me was her having to push buttons to get through to an answering service. Like, she can't just directly call the doctor. She's a fucking doctor.
She can.
We're fucked.
There's no way that she can't. Another thing is I worked in a doctor's office for years from like junior year of high school for like 3 years. She, as a doctor, has a different number that she can call to get through to that office. But I wonder if Dr. Al-Hashmi, Ms. By the Books, isn't going to... Right.
There's also something psychological about when you are the patient, even if you're a doctor, that feeling of being out of control and like trying to follow the rules so you'll get care. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Because you probably can't, could, but shouldn't call the doctor line for yourself, I guess.
Jump the line, yeah.
Yeah. So, fine. Like, that's all.
Yeah. But that's our first clue that she's seeing a neuro doctor of some kind, neuropsych, neuroscience, something. And we immediately kind of get the context for it here. So basically, like, in the previews, it showed Dr. Abbott saying to her, "You must be Gloria's new hire." And that's like a little dig because, of course, like nobody likes Gloria and her lack of, paying for nurses and the way that the hospital is being run. But as soon as the crisis is over, they have a little chat. And this chat is very illuminating.
Yep.
She asks him if he was in Afghanistan, and she reveals that she worked with Doctors Without Borders and worked at a maternity hospital.
Right.
And so he mentions Dashti Barchi, which, of course, I looked up, as did you. And just like with the Tree of Life shooting, where they were referencing a real event, this was also a real event in 2020, like she mentions. So for people that didn't catch it or didn't just like look it up, basically, there was an attack on a hospital in May of 2020 where armed men attacked the maternity wing at this hospital and killed 24 people, including 16 mothers, a midwife, and 2 young children. And so the implication, obviously, is that al-Hashmi was at that hospital. And after this, MSF ended up decided to pull their doctors out of that hospital because that plus a number of other incidents had made it, in their estimation, too dangerous to continue. The hospital is still there and the local doctors are still working there, but the level of care is much lower. Like, that hospital used to be a place where women with complications could come and get medical care all for free. And basically it's not that level of care anymore.
Right. So it's
obviously they're doing their best, but without the support of the international organizations, they're not able to do the same work.
Right.
There's some really horrific, it's funny, the article that I read just had 2 people that were there that day describing their experiences and how they hid in the safe rooms for like 5 hours before the security forces came and got them. And it reminded me so much of like hearing about school shootings and the idea of like hiding in a safe room and all of that. So clearly Dr. al-Hashmi is dealing with some serious PTSD from her time in Afghanistan and probably specifically that attack. It explains immediately why she freaked out with baby Jane Doe.
Yeah.
Because that was her job, was working in a maternity hospital when it was attacked. So, yeah.
So we don't, again, I've seen PTSD, which, whether or not that's exactly what's going on, that she's
right. I'm using that as more of a blanket term than it actually is.
But, well, what I was going to say is the 2 things I hear people saying the most are that, and then some sort of like absent seizure happening. And I have no clue. The only, it feels to me like if I were her doctor, obviously PTSD is going to be one of the diagnoses. I wonder what the phone call to this doctor is about, because that's therapy. That's how you deal with that.
Exactly.
So that I'm wondering, there's a lot going on with her, I think. Understandably so.
Right. And if she is having these like mini absent seizures or whatever, like that's a reason, like theoretically, maybe it's something that can be controlled by medicine, but maybe it's not working as well. It's her first day on a new job, stressed, tends to amp these things up. So yeah, that's sort of the background there. But that then explains exactly the baby reaction in episode 1 that we were also curious about. But I really liked the sort of natural bond that, of course, happens by 2 people that both served in Afghanistan in separate roles. But like, he understands her immediately and she understands him immediately. And like, that's when Dr. Robby gets jealous.
That's so funny. Well, and the thing too is that like Abbott is so, of course it's the bond that helps this, but when he says like, oh, we should go out for a beer sometime, trade war stories, she's like, I like that. It's so effortless in a way that Robby with anybody, whether he hit it off or not, just can't do.
Yeah. He's so much more, even though he's an adrenaline junkie and he's clearly not in some ways being very careful with himself, he is much more comfortable in like interpersonal interactions than Robby is.
And that's how he's like wormed his way into being one of Robby's clearly best friends. It's like, you need an Abbott to get through to a Robby.
100%. Should we also talk here about speaking of people shipping people on this show, the Abbott and Mohan moment?
I want to be better than this. I was just talking last season about the Santos and Yolanda and me not loving the power differential and the age thing and whatever there.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel flirty to me until...
It didn't feel flirty to me too, but...
Except that I know that these two actors said even last season, they made the choice together to be playing their interactions as flirty. And so knowing that is like...
Yeah.
But so Dr. Mohan's story and Abbott's come together through Orlando Diaz.
Yeah, so let's touch on Diaz now. Basically, he's trying to leave because he can't. We find out he has more debt than we thought.
He's been hiding it from his family. Plus, he has a second job he has to get to by 4:00.
Yep.
The show.
I mean, it's so ridiculous and also it's real.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Yeah, but he can't fucking leave. Like, he's coming back in worse shape because he left. For sure, we're seeing him again. Like, I can't imagine we're not.
Unless
he dies?
Well, unless the supplies that Dr.
Yeah, but he needs to be, like, monitored every hour right now. Like, the number of doctors I saw that said, like, yes, technically MedSurg could take a patient like that, but in most hospitals, he'd be going into the ICU. So he could be watched in a lower nurse to patient ratio and get checked every hour. Like, he is nowhere near ready to go home, even with take-home supplies. Like, that was just a last-ditch effort. But yes, Mohan and Abbott meet up because Mohan is bringing him a bag of supplies that she has found that she can scrounge together.
She says, I have a surprise for you.
I know.
And then
but he's not there.
She's got a surprise instead.
She does. That is correct. Yeah. Abbott, in his cowboy way, says, geniuses thought today was the day to rob a goods warehouse. Didn't think about how long it would take to load the appliances. They panicked. All hell broke loose. Like, okay, Abbott.
The way she's looking around for Mr. Diaz, as if she's gonna
find him under the bed. Yeah. Yeah.
Really breaks my heart. Exactly.
Just kind of standing there. You just see his feet. He's hiding from her.
I love her. I love her so much. We got a little moment before this scene where she's on the phone with her mom finally. And it's quick, but it's just to remind us that the tension is there. So as we've said, you don't ignore a Jersey mom. She got her on the phone.
Of course she did.
She's so focused on this patient and Abbott. It's so good.
This is so attractive man sitting there shirtless, assuming no one could possibly be thinking about anything else.
Yeah.
She's like, this sucks. And he's like, oh, it's nothing. She's like, he's like, no, don't worry about me. I'm fine. Seriously. She's like, no, my patient. But in the most casual way possible.
This was devastating to me. I've never, she says, he's everything about it, Jody, because probably against hospital policy to scrounge up a bunch of supplies and send them in an Uber to a
Yeah, although I have kind of the doctors of the internet seemed to not be surprised by this take.
Cool.
And also to not be surprised by an attending doing something like that casually, just being like, yeah, I'll pay for the Uber. Yeah.
It's not even a question. That line delivery, I wonder how long they worked on that line delivery because
it's very good.
It's perfect. And you see the way, I love that Dr. Mohan is so clearly not distracted by him at all leading up to this. She's such a doctor. She's so concerned with her patient.
She's focused.
Then her eyes shift just the littlest bit where she's like, oh.
Yes.
Huh. And you could take that so many ways if you are somebody who wants this smart, young, capable doctor with her whole life ahead of her to get caught up with Abbott, which part of me does, if we're being honest.
Right.
Or you can just take it as
she sees him.
Yeah.
As a human for a moment.
And there's a sort of, I could see a mentorship happening there that is really productive for her because she is so empathetic and that's the thing we really like about her, but also
she's
slow-mo. And you can see Abbott kind of being a version of that
Well, appreciating the extra care as opposed to being annoyed that she's taking so long.
Exactly. He's like curious about it. He doesn't like say like, well, he left, you know. Like,
right.
Yeah. He's perfect in that scene.
And then we get the comedic gem of the entire episode.
I want to know everything about that.
This was so Hanna-Barbera, like Bugs Bunny, Wile E. Coyote, exaggerated, walk by and pause by Dr. Robby. He must have done that. I think I saw an interview with someone about the episode where they said he did that a whole bunch of times in a whole bunch of ways.
Okay, well,
we need a clip. Yeah, we need the reel.
Release the cut because his shoe squeaks.
It's so funny.
I need to know if that's real or if that was Foley later. It's perfect. It's timed exactly right. The fact that he's out of focus for some of it comes into focus.
I know.
It's perfect cinema. Also, shout out, the director of this episode is Uta Breiswitz, who also directed the Tree of Life episode, which is another one. Right. There are a lot of similar stuff going on there. And she's also the one who directed the 2 episodes of Severance, Attila and the After Hours that I mentioned during the Tree of Life episode, which are 2 Irving and Burt heavy episodes. So she just really gets what to do with hapless old men.
Yeah. 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 Robby walks by like a cartoon.
It's so good.
It's great. It's really like you said, they're balancing, as they always do, this super heavy shit with like a moment here and there where we see that there is still ridiculousness and humor and absurdity in between all of these crazy moments.
Which is so true for any intense job. It just has to be that way.
Absolutely.
And also, I really love when you get, because we've only known Robby. I mean, I've known him my whole life in my heart, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, we've only known him a day and a half, really. And I love when you get to see maybe who he was pre-COVID, who he was, like, you get moments of lightness. I mean, every episode, but really in this one, of him being, like, really caring.
You see it with Santos, too.
I love the 2 of them together.
It emphasizes even more what I was saying last week about how part of, I think, what's going on with her is that he's leaving and she's freaking out that she's not going to have him around as a mentor, but also as an advocate, someone who seems to believe in her.
And as a little bit of a gossip, which she likes too.
Yeah. And we'll take her as she is and not kind of try to turn her into, you know, some sort of robot doctor.
Exactly.
Well, should we talk about that little scene now, since it doesn't really connect to anything else?
Yeah.
The little Robby and Santos scene, because the other thing that happens there is they're talking about their huckleberry.
Their huckleberry Jody. Again, why would you write a line like that for us?
Well, it's so funny because, like, he's asking Santos how it's going, but he's clearly asking about Whittaker, not her.
Yeah.
He just wants to know what's happening.
And his line deliveries are so funny because he's checking in on her. She says, because do we save her and the baby for the end? Because it's such a, because that's before this.
We'll get to it in the order, I guess, that it shows up. But yeah, it starts because she says, like, you know, she's a baby whisperer. And he says, well, great, we'll add baby Jane Doe to your patient load.
Forget I said anything.
Yeah.
And then he, again, a little gossipy, is like checking in on Langdon. Like, wants to know if he said anything to her.
I also love that her line about Whittaker is he's weirder than you'd expect.
Robby loves it.
Yeah, he does.
She says that he like smiles and he goes, and like his eyebrows go up. He loves it. And then
he could sit there and gossip about Whittaker forever with her.
In my head, and I don't remember if he actually is positioned this way, but in my head, he's like got his elbows up on the counter and is like,
with his chin in his hands.
Like if he were on the phone, he'd be like kicking his feet up behind him, like on his bed, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So he's very like, what are you thinking about? She mentions that he's been spending a lot of time on the farm. Robby, he has a girlfriend.
And like, okay, but this is a bad thing that Whittaker is doing. And Robby needs to have a better reaction than that as a professional.
He's so surprised that he forgets to be professional for a minute.
I guess so, yeah.
This is taking the Robby Whittaker shippers out of this conversation.
Yeah.
This also doesn't make it okay. There is a boundary line here, no matter what is going on with Amy and Whittaker, no matter what. This is just inappropriate to any level.
Yes.
The only thing that makes it sort of okay is if we find the littlest bit.
You saw my face.
The littlest bit is if we find out that Whitaker, like half of the staff in this ER, is queer and is a kind of queer who's not attracted to women and has just become too close with the patient. Still not okay.
Still not okay.
Still not okay. But there is a line between I've become too close with a patient and I'm sleeping with a widow who I met because her husband died and she has a
yeah.
There are degrees of inappropriateness, and that is way different.
Right. So. I also think that there's somebody mentioned this on Reddit. I can't take credit, but somebody made a connection between the fact that like Robby has served in like the stepdad role before and maybe sees a little bit of Whitaker in himself if he is dating Amy, like the taking on that sort of like stepfather role. It's really, regardless of what's actually going on there, whether it's romantic or not, like it's a line you're not supposed to cross as a doctor. But we do find out that Huckleberry has joined the street team. It wasn't just a thing he mentioned once.
Even the way Robby says, it is so funny how he just totally forgets to be professional here, because he even says he died. And the way he says it is like, it's so gossipy. But yeah, he's joined the street team. I think they realized that maybe they set Santos up to be a little too unlikable last season. I know I came around on her, but it took me a little while. And there's still people really holding on to their dislike of her, which is, again, a little hypocritical of me, but like, leave her, like, please.
Yeah.
Like, she's, anyway, point being, they're really like letting us see the softer side of her and the really caring side of her. It just shows itself differently because she says like, and now he's on the street team. I just don't want to see him get taken advantage of.
Yeah. Which is fair because I think that Santos is naturally more of a, like, we don't have a full backstory on Santos, but obviously there's been implications over the seasons that she's been through some shit. Right. And therefore is probably generally more suspicious, a bit tougher, and sees Whitaker's like, you know, wide-eyed, wanting to help everyone as also possibly dangerous to him.
And we know that it seems, especially because of whatever she's been through that we know a little bit about, she's so protective of other people who she feels like are like Whitaker, who maybe are a little more vulnerable and a little less careful and more likely to be taken advantage of at this point.
Totally.
And she says he's a fucking Huckleberry.
Yeah, but he's our Huckleberry.
And then it's your call. Strong deflection, well played. You're the boss. And then she says, like, at least until you leave. And then it's another, I'm still the boss. When you see me in here, still the boss.
Yeah. I liked the sun doesn't always come out tomorrow, Annie line. I'm going to use that.
Everything about that. Wasn't she pregnant? No, she was a young orphan. Not Amy.
I know.
Really good, fun stuff. What a show. Yeah.
I'm definitely using the sun that doesn't always come out tomorrow, Annie. It's so good.
Wasn't she pregnant? Robby.
Yeah.
Get it together. You are not off the clock yet.
So we have a couple of patients we see for less amounts of time, but that are notable. In my head, there is a bunch of people that got too hot. At least that's what we think so far. And the boating accident. So we have a bunch of people that either have fainted or are about to faint or have thrown up, but no matter what, they all got hot. We have Elliot Green, 17 years old, passed out at football practice during Hell Week, which, this is definitely one of those like more subtle PSAs, like, hey, did you know that they make teenage athletes practice in, exactly. But I do appreciate that he has a moment to flirt with Joy while he is worrying about dying from whatever weird rare disease they're discussing.
Yeah, and if we didn't know it from her septum ring, we get another confirmed queer person in the ER.
He's not her type.
Not my type, bud.
He's also 17.
Yeah, also that.
Yeah. No, I loved that. Like, we get another Joy and Ogilvy talking over each other with all sorts of possible diagnoses and medical jargon, but Joy gets the upper hand this time.
Yeah, she knows her shit. She's just less invested in proving herself to all of these people when she's going to be leaving in a few weeks.
Yeah.
I really come around on
absolutely.
her, too.
Oh, so have I. But yeah, no, she knows the details and gets to show it off a little bit there. And this patient is also being worked on by like Mel and Langdon. But yeah, we don't see much else. This actually brings up the cooling room that Langdon suggests, because this is the first patient that needs to be like cooled off. So Langdon decides, hey, we should just set up a place for this to happen.
He's a good doctor.
Yeah, he is. He is.
And Robby's a little bitch about it when he finds out.
He is a little bitch about it.
Because Mel tells him that this room has been set up, and he's like, oh, good call. And then she says, because she's Mel, like, and Langdon's her special friend.
Mel is super protective of him this episode.
I really like it. He needs it.
Yeah. Let's talk about that next patient, because that's where this all comes in. So we have our boating accident victim coming in via helicopter. And this is when we get Langdon and Robby in the elevator. Me yelling kiss at the screen as they stare at each other.
So, again, I know, and at this point, people like know one of the things that we love so much is when a show can do both things at once. This scene is these couple of scenes are so like tough for a couple of reasons, and like not cringy, but like to watch, but also so funny.
Yeah. Screaming his apology over the blades of the helicopter.
Man, that really made me laugh.
But then they follow it up with Robby's response, which even if you feel that way, and you have every right to feel that way if you want to, that is not the fucking time, man.
I'm so back and forth. I'm not back and forth with these two. I have to keep reminding myself that like Langdon can't force Robby to have these conversations.
No.
And he keeps doing it. And Robby has made it very clear doesn't want to. So I kind of get why Robby reacted this way. But also,
absolutely.
You
but
are
also,
the attending. You know that you have this relationship with Langdon. You know that it's going to shake his confidence, and you push on it later.
I know.
And
repeatedly.
While they're working on it, like neither of them are being their best selves right now.
No. And so I think this is where I want to bring up, I read an interview with Patrick Ball with Esquire just before we started recording. And he said stuff that we've been kind of speculating about this character. He kind of confirmed he's very aware of the way that he's playing this. He said, so the first thing is he said, I'm coming up on 4 years sober. Wow. So he's had this experience himself.
Cool. I mean, good for him. And, you know.
Yes.
Sorry.
He says,
sorry. Congratulations. I'm sorry you went through that. Like,
yeah.
I just like that it's, informed.
It's real for him. Yeah. He says, exactly. And it felt that way from the beginning, which is why this was so interesting to hear. But his take on this whole attempted apology, I thought was really insightful, because it does show that he is thinking about the layers of it. He says, this is not going as Langdon predicted it would go. When coming back to make amends and take ownership over how you've hurt others, you have to be ready for people not being ready to forgive you. You have to leave space. You can't control anyone else's experience. You can only make the apology as earnest as possible. And then he says, and this I think is forward-looking, he says, it becomes increasingly clear to Langdon as the shift goes on that there might be something else going on with Robby that is actually not about him. Mm-hmm. That's another part of the process of recovery, identifying what is me, what is you, and what is us. Yeah. But there seems to be a lot of resentment there that I don't think Langdon fully understands.
That's great.
Yeah. It was a really cool article, and it was kind of short, but it hit right at this thing that we've been talking about, which is like Langdon's performance of this specific point in recovery at about 10 months in, when if he had been able to, it would have been better had he been able to make these amends not during a shift.
Right. Yeah, totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you can contact these people outside of work.
Yeah.
To try to do this.
And also, now I'm just it's something I'm thinking through now, which is first thing being Robby's not answering the phone for Langdon no matter what.
Right. Of course.
But
I'm not saying that in like a shaming way. I'm just saying like it would have been better for everyone, including him.
But that's a clear indicator that Robby's not ready for the conversation. And so you shouldn't be. And also, is the only time Robby might be able to have this conversation. It's when there's a helicopter filling in all the extra space, because they're not having this conversation in a quiet room together. Robby's not having that, but maybe one where they can, yell loudly and it's muffled and nobody else is going to hear it because, you know what I mean? Like, he almost picked the best place to do it.
Right.
So.
Right. The other thing he said about that relationship between him and Robby that I thought was worth highlighting, he's talking about how Langdon was sort of Robby's best boy before all this. And he says they're dissecting the privilege of what it means to be the best boy, the acolyte. In season 1, Langdon gets a lot of attention. He gets a lot of love. He has a relationship with Robby that's different from any of his peers. In season 2, he similarly gets attention from Robby that is different from any of his peers because there seems to be a very intense amount of focus for better or for worse.
Noah Wiley, in some clip that I saw, refers to the two of them as tantric lovers.
Jesus Christ. It's not our fault that we're like...
Again, I'm not this person usually, and this show
me neither.
isn't giving me any choice.
Yeah.
So,
but I thought that was really... Yeah, he was the best boy, right? Like, he was the handsome, young, talented doctor. He was Dr. Robby's protege, like, which I'm sure got him lots of special treatment. Yep. So, and now it's turning, the focus is still on him, just not in a good way.
Right. Well, because now he's got little Whitaker. They have their little secret handshake, and
he's those double fist bumps.
Yep. He's our Huckleberry.
Yeah.
It's his, so.
He's been replaced.
I do want to say the language in that apology, though, Robby says, "I'm really glad you got the help you need," which was soothing to my soul. Pregnant pause, because how dare they? And then his wording is, "I don't know if I want you working in my ER," which is not, "I don't want you working in my ER." It's, "I'm still."
Right.
And I think it's like.
But also, to be fair, it's not his fucking ER. He's only one of the attendings. There's a night shift attending. There is an attending taking over for him. I'm sure there are others that work there.
Maybe. That's Robby's ER.
He doesn't own that fucking ER. I'm sorry.
I think it's up to Robby, though, is my guess, at the end of the day.
Well, it's up to Robby if he works on his shift with him.
That's true, yeah.
It might not be up to him if he works in the hospital in general. He's not HR.
No.
And he didn't report in. Like we said last week, he made his choice.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I'm not.
Well, and he's also not saying, because he can't, you're right. And so I don't know if I want you working in my ER is how he's feeling right now. That's not saying,
sure,
I'm going to fire you.
Right. But the problem is that he is ignoring the fact that his words have effects on
he's not ignoring
patient care.
He knows that part, yes.
No, but it's the patient care part.
Because we see it right after this.
Immediately. Mel is trying to protect him by prompting him and helping him out and speaking up for him, which is adorable.
It sucks to see him so shaken, because that's one thing he's never been. He is a confident, competent doctor, even while under the influence.
Right.
That's why he came back during the mass casualty event.
The mass casualty.
He knew he could handle it,
Yeah. But the one positive of all of this is we get to see Garcia using her sort of needling wit to good effect with him, because
they're buds.
They're buds, and she's treating him just like she would have any other day.
Yes. Yeah.
Right? She's kind of picking on him, but she also, whether she realizes it or not, because she agrees with his treatment plan, is sort of sticking it to Robby a little bit. Because Robby is questioning everything Langdon says, even when he knows that it's actually the correct medical advice.
Do we?
Yeah. Yes, we do. That is apparently, according to Garcia, exactly what we do.
It was nuts. I couldn't, you gotta get your shit together.
Yeah.
She does say this looks like some Jurassic Park shit.
Well, and that also got me mad at Robby, because he literally is Langdon says something to the medic that maybe is a side note. And Robby says, "Let's stick with the patient," or focus on the patient. And then she calls it some Jurassic Park shit.
Yeah, they always.
And of course he's not gonna. Yeah, it's the way that it works in the hospital.
Right.
You have to. Those little comments keep you going.
Really pissed me off.
Yeah. Otherwise, with patients, I don't think so. The boater is probably going to be fine. Mel is not going to be tasked with stitching him up herself.
That's another one of those where it's Dr. Garcia says that, and before like Robbie's already laughing because he knows she's fucking with her, and then Garcia calls her.
Yeah. This was great. Sadness. That was so good.
And just the side by side of Inside Out Sadness and Mel, they do look alike.
Oh my God.
They look.
I hadn't even made that connection.
So much alike. I think that's what I'm sure it is. It's funny if she just means you are the embodiment of the feeling, but I think she's directly referring to Sadness from Inside Out.
I think you're right. I just missed it. She says, calm down, Sadness. I'm kidding. This one is for my skilled surgical residents upstairs, not you Boy Scout butchers.
Oh, man.
And Langdon, has a moment of relief from this stress he's been feeling. He says, boy, I missed you, Yo-Yo. And she says, can't say the same. All right, let's take up this art project.
Jesus Christ.
But he tries to talk to Robby again. You got to let it go, Langdon. Yeah. Robby walks away and Langdon's like, good talk. Because it's not the time. He's basically told you it's not the time. You got to let it go.
And I get that you feel like this is the only time, but then again, you got
to give him his space. You can't just keep pushing it. So yeah, we have our patients with possible heat stroke. Daniel Scott, weak and dizzy while washing his car, started to have a seizure. We have Jason Stills, was gathering the makings of a salad when he started feeling dizzy and nauseated. They're all going to either the ICU or the cooling room, depending on the severity. I don't know if we'll see them again. I think that this is just a sign of the waterfall is rushing faster of patients walking in the door, and the place is filling up, basically. Oh, we do get a quick little Mr. Francis of the waiting for his D-dimer from Mohan still sitting in the hallway.
I'm wondering if it's a little bit of Jesse juggling where it's like we're going to get more. Because I think last week I sort of thought it was like let's just remember that ERs also handle this kind of routine thing sometimes and keep that in mind. And, sometimes they're just doing that for that sake. But the fact that they had him pop up again, I'm like, they want us keeping him in mind.
To notice he's still there. Yeah, exactly. But I think that's it for our patients. There's a few doctor patients, staff patients we should be checking in on just to, make a note of some things that developed in this episode. Number 1. Victoria, she's got a cool dad.
She's got a cool dad. Thank God. I feel bad that she has to have a pain in the ass mom, but at least she's got
a dad who likes to play pickleball and drink scotch, and says to her, I hope I didn't embarrass you coming down here.
That's all her mom would have had to have said.
Yeah. And when she says she's still trying to figure out what she wants to do, he says, well, either way, you'll do what's right. You always do. Yeah. Proud of you.
And the thing, right. And
what a dad.
Still trying to figure out what she wants to do. But the specialist he brought to her is dermatology, which we know Giovanni has an interest in.
Yeah.
Because
she has
Dr.
great fucking, right. And she has great skin also. She's absolutely glowing this episode. And I wondered if it was intentional. She looks like she's lit from within.
That's great.
Yeah, she looks beautiful. So that was a lovely moment. And at first I thought it was going to be with her mom, where she was like, oh, stop trying to push me in a direction. But clearly her dad knows that might be an interest of hers because she is flustered in a good way when the doctor says, let's grab a coffee sometime. But she has to go grill for 30 people. I know. I love them together. Yeah. And clearly her dad's well respected because Caleb goes by and is like, oh, wow. Yeah, you got something to live up to.
You don't know the half of it.
Yeah. We also have to note that Becca and Mel are chatting, and Becca's not feeling well. I did get a hint that we might be seeing Becca in some interviews with the cast, that we might be seeing her at the hospital.
Interesting. In that conversation, they do just a nice little subtle. Mel says, do you still want to watch the fireworks tonight? I've got our headphones.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good point. I caught that at the end the second time I watched it. And Becca really wants to have ice cream regardless of her stomachache, and I also get that.
I fucking hate fireworks.
Yeah, me too. We also have a couple of really nice and very pointed moments of Dr. Al-Hashmi, I think, doing what Robby is incapable of right now, which is noticing her effect on others. because she's seeing Santos to start to drown.
Yes.
And gives her some positive feedback about the way she's twice. She gives her positive feedback about her behavior and handling of the medical situation. Mm-hmm. And then also says, look, our 2-year is incredibly hard. You have to keep grinding. Like, maybe that's not the best advice, but it is like her acknowledgement of the fact that it's very difficult and that it's not just like you're doing a bad job. Everyone has a hard time with this year.
Right.
So I really appreciated, I feel like this cemented Dr. Al-Hashmi as a person to root for in this episode. I was already leaning that way over the last few. They were dropping all these hints of like comparing her way of working with the residents to not always who Dr. Robby was, but who Dr. Robby is right now.
Yeah.
You know,
we're way more open to Robby not being a perfect doctor for a variety of justified and deeply misogynistic and intentional from the writers and unintentional and like so many reasons. And that's not fair to Dr. Al-Hashmi.
Yeah. But, to be fair, the first couple of episodes were just her walking into rooms and shouting the word AI and then leaving.
Exactly.
So we didn't really know much else.
And so I'm really glad we knew it was going to happen.
Yeah. But it was important. I think we see Santos kind of perk up and start doing her dictation with a little bit less dread. Mm-hmm. And then we hear the baby crying.
Another perfect scene.
Oh my God.
Holy shit.
I really loved the way that at first Santos is like talking to the baby like it's a grown person.
First of all, Donnie cannot hear this baby crying.
Oh no, he can't hear it at all.
No.
It's like background noise.
And Jessie also is not like babies cry. This baby's cranky. She's taken care of.
She's sick.
She's sick. And then, what is your problem?
This is why I didn't go into peds. Yeah. She says, hey, little Miss Sunshine, is it time for you to take a little nap? That would be so fucking nice. Yes, it would.
Starting to understand why you got left.
Why you got left here. That's what I mean.
She's so funny.
Yeah.
She would never say that to a child who has the capacity to understand language.
Yeah. I saw an interview with Issa Briones who talked about, so we mentioned she's like a musical theater phenom. She's been on Broadway. Her parents have been in theater forever too. Yeah. But this lullaby that she's singing, she talked to her father about it to find the right lullaby to sing in Tagalog in this moment. And this is, I didn't write down the name of it, but it's traditionally sung by an older sister or an aunt, and it soothes the child in the absence of the mother.
I did read the lyrics are like, your mother's not here, she's gone to buy bread, I think. It's like a very like straightforward, sweet, contextually appropriate.
Contextually appropriate, absolutely. Yeah. So not only do we get to hear her beautiful voice, but like it's a bit of a sort of like the choice of song is a little bit showing Santos's sort of protectiveness towards the baby. Like, all right, fine, you're a pain in the ass, but like, I'm not going to let anyone hurt you just because your mom's not here. Oh.
Right. Exactly.
Beautiful.
And you see it even softens her. It's just a perfect moment.
Yeah. It's really beautiful. Other staff notes.
It's a perfect comedy moment. It is Robby and Princess. Robby says, how we doing? Princess says, a little bloated. One too many hot dogs from the truck. You meant the board,
And he just stares at her.
I'm sorry. I realized today, rewatching this episode, Noah Wiley, his superpower is he is the king of the head shake. So when he finds out that Whitaker's been Whitaker's been spending a lot of time on the farm, he shakes his head in such a way that he looks like a cartoon character. It's like, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But then here, it's just like a little one. Like he just has,
he's got variations on it.
It's incredible. Incredible.
Yeah. We also had a nice moment for him when he is trying to reassure Mel about her deposition. Although whenever someone in this show says you're going to be fine, I'm a little concerned.
That's true too.
But he does say, you're a very good doctor. I've been training residents for years. You are one of the best. And Mel goes, I am?
I promise. Ugh.
Yeah. So that was a nice moment for him to reassure her.
When he can get his head out of his butt, he's good at what he does. Princess being so funny reminded me of something I didn't say last week that feels important to me. What Santos hits that slump, and Perla gives her a 5-hour energy drink and says, 6 hours left.
6 hours left. Yep.
It's not enough. Not enough, Perla.
Nope. I know. That's really funny. We should, I think, end with the situation that's coming. So before that, we do need to mention the reveal in the bathroom with Santos.
Yes.
Because that is obviously extremely intentional. Javati runs into the bathroom to go to finally pee after hours, and Santos is also sitting in the stall, probably sleeping. But when she pulls up her pants, we see that she has scars from self-harming, cutting marks.
And they look
old.
Healed over and old. Yeah. So I like the idea of Santos being somebody who is, for the most part, healed from her stuff, still dealing with it. And the way it comes out is in these ways where she's really protective and a little guarded and all of that. But that we don't
need her to be totally falling apart from it.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally agree. But the end of the episode then is what we suspected is coming, which is there have been cyber attacks. We thought that the cyber attack was then going to hit Pitt, but instead they are preventatively shutting it down. CEO Trent Norris in his pink shorts has come from his picnic.
Hilarious.
Yeah. I am mad at him because he basically threw Al-Hashmi under the bus.
She didn't realize until...
She did not... No. And she didn't want to be the spokesperson for this or be the pet.
I would love to know, it's not her fault, what that conversation sounded like, because she comes down, you can tell that, like, at first she thinks they're doing the right thing. He's set it up in such a way where she feels like, but the second Robby says you didn't think to, and he says she realizes in that moment, she's like, fuck, man, he knew exactly.
Well, and of course they talk to her instead of him. She is the tech lady. She is going to be on her first day much more amenable to whatever the fuck they want to do. Robby is going to have a million questions, and they, strategically it makes sense for them to grab her and not him.
Right. But she's seeing it, of course, it is her, for all those same reasons, but she probably, it felt like a much more respectful approach of why they asked her until she realizes what's happening there.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I also noted that CEO, what is his name again? Trent something? Of course his name's Trent.
Trip McNeely.
He calls Robby Rockstar. But Robby gets annoyed that he was not consulted because it's his ER, as we know. My favorite moment, of course, as I'm sure yours was as well, is when he announces that it was a cyber attack at Westbridge. Princess clenches her fist, smiles, and looks at Ahmad.
Good for you, girl.
She got it.
She got it.
That money's going to Princess.
That's right. Get a few more hot dogs.
Amazing. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, so they've been blocking all these attempts, and they're going to have to shut it down preemptively.
We'll find out
Whitaker
more.
has to grab a... Oh, sorry. No. I was going to say Whitaker has to grab a photo of the board.
Well, somebody does, but he... Again, everybody's special sauce is also... I need to remind people that comes from the show. I would never say that genuinely. But everybody's strengths and weaknesses come from the same place. Of course, that's how you write good characters. Robby jumps right to it. He gets right to action. Somebody get a picture of the board. His new best boy is on it right away because they are psychically connected, and he is carefully attuned to Robby.
And because he's been whipping that camera out to take pictures of his stepchild.
That's right.
Got to be quick if you're going to photograph a little baby.
You're so right about that.
He's had practice.
And so, thank God we've got the picture of the board.
So the last thing we see before it goes to black is we see Abbott's face talking to someone. We don't see to who. And he says, "This is going to be fun." Spoken like a true adrenaline junkie.
Yeah. Thank God he's here.
He's like, let's fucking go.
They're going to crush this. It's going to be another...
definitely going to crush it.
He has such a good frown right before that, though. It's like strong sad. It's like a perfect upside down U. I know nothing about the tech world and what it means to be networked or not, blah, blah, blah. My housemate Kitsy, this is their day job. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to watch next week and see if it is worth bringing an expert on. And if it is, Kitsy will join us. Couple of notes from what we know so far. Apparently, more often than not, that is not how it normally goes. No, normally Kitsy said, like, what in real life, you're not like, first of all, the attacks are not like slowly hacking into the mainframe at this hospital. Right. Kitsy said, ransomware targets the weakest link. That is almost always a human. Probably what happened at that other hospital is a nurse or somebody at a front desk opened a link or gave some information on the phone.
Yeah.
And that's how it happens. And so what they need to do is tell people, it's, if you've worked, like I get emails once in a while from my IT department being like, hey, somebody opened a fucking email. Don't do that.
Yeah. So, everybody review the training videos on phishing emails and to make sure that you acknowledge that you have watched them.
Exactly. And, sometimes that doesn't happen. I can especially imagine in a hospital where people are like in a hurry. Like, but again, that doesn't make for good TV. And so that's we just I think that's one of the things where we're just going to kind of have to suspend our disbelief there. That's what's happening.
100%.
Yeah. And so, also, a lot of people being like, do they have to close everything down? Can they just keep some stuff up? And the way Kitsy explained that to me, too, is like, they probably, like all of this, even though spreadsheets aren't actually local, they're all somewhere else. And
on the cloud.
If you really only have, and these like big data servers, probably Amazon, Google, Facebook, apparently are the big three. Remember when Amazon went down and all of those apps and everything went down? That's because they were
AWS.
all exactly. And so that's probably true here too. And Kitsy was like, if we're taking somebody's hacking into the mainframe approach, they really might only have seconds. And even spinning up a new spreadsheet, Kitsy was like, I probably would have done the same thing. Take a picture of what you can, keep the records as best you can until. I will also say this is how on Battlestar Galactica, that beautiful old spaceship lasted as long as it did from the Cylon invasion is because Edward James Olmos, love of my life, refused to network his ship.
There you go.
So
we should all be Luddites and just move to a cabin in the woods and turn off our phones.
I'm ready.
Get a landline.
I'm way too online. I'm not ready.
I know.
But
I wish I was ready. Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah.
It's going to be chaos, but we've got Dr. Jack Abbott and he is ready. Yeah. And honestly, so before this episode, I would have thought that what they were setting up was for Al-Hashimi's like the fall of her position on AI and all of that being so like, oh, she was clearly wrong, blah, blah, blah. This woman worked in a fucking maternity hospital in Afghanistan when she'll be fine.
It's going to be,
she has worked in a war zone before.
It's going to be cool to watch. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the episode, but like Abbott and Robby fall into their old routine of working so well together, but then also watching Abbott and Al-Hashimi figure out, because they're going to have a different shorthand that's just kind of baked in. It's cool.
And they're going to have like little things that they probably did when they didn't have access to all of this crazy technology that Robby won't know.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the buddy partnership of Abbott and Al-Hashimi soon.
And Robby just having to fucking deal with it.
Except that maybe you judged her too quickly. That you kind of were having a rough day and were dealing with your own shit and just kind of gave her a slot in your brain and of like annoying AI lady and didn't get to know anything about her.
And she did come in too hot, but it is also like sometimes you got to give the new person a little grace because they're the new person.
Yeah. Everybody's a little bit too much on the first day of a new job, especially when you're in a place like that where like you kind of are trying to find your place. So
I can't wait to go back and see how I talked about her.
Oh, yeah. But I think like, if we may not see Gloria at all this season, but it kind of feels to me like Gloria kind of set her up. Gloria chose her because of who she is and what she's interested in, and to like enact Gloria's agenda.
Absolutely.
You know, otherwise, temporary, theoretically, like sabbatical replacement would not come in with sweeping changes on day one unless you were like kind of put in that position on purpose to do so.
Totally.
Yeah. Like especially no woman who's ever been in a workplace of any kind is going to come in and think that's going to go well, you know? So I think that the higher ups are pushing a lot of this behind the scenes.
I think so. I'm seeing if I have any. I think that's it. Yeah, I can't. We're at the halfway point now?
Yeah, we are.
I'm really so glad they got Abbott in as early as they did.
And Dr. Ellis.
And Dr. Ellis, yeah. Because, that's right. Because even though I'm sure they're going to activate everybody's...
But she's working a double,
anyway,
so...
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So that's really
But we got to get Dr. John Chen. We got to get, like, the full night shift in early.
Especially if... This is what we started to talk about earlier. Does Dana have to stay in that room now? Just thinking about... I mean, until they finish that kit, but do the systems... I just don't... I have no idea what the protocol is there now.
No. All we've been told is that she can't leave until the rape kit's done.
It's very Carmy in the walk-in during opening night.
Yeah. People can come in, though, at least.
That's true.
They can open the door.
Yeah.
Or the curtain. She just can't leave.
That's a good point.
Yeah. But right now, Princess is in charge of and she has a little paper drawing, so that was a good idea.
Yeah. She can handle it. If anybody can handle it, they're going to be... You just know. Yeah. I love knowing what I'm in for, you know?
Yeah.
To a degree. Like...
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, but these very competent, very well-meaning, very lovely, empathetic human beings will figure out a way to handle it.
That's right.
Yeah. And hopefully Robby will realize he's being a big fat baby and get his shit together and before he rides off into the sunset.
Oh, I'm glad you said that because I agree. And also, Duke is supposed to be here.
Yeah.
I think, I don't remember if we got I don't think we got a mention of him this week. We did last week. But I wonder what happens. I mean, they're still taking patients, obviously. So.
Right. And they said that they'll continue to get walk-ins.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
I just, you know.
And I think early on, Robby mentioned that he had told Duke to come before 3:00 or something like that.
Hopefully
so
we will see Duke.
We've got a couple of hours.
I am so curious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we talk about The Simpsons very quickly? I know that seems out of nowhere, but I just think we have to.
Yeah, let's do it.
Episode 800 of The Simpsons, I know, is an episode called Irrational Treasure, I believe. And the premise for it is that Santa's little helper eats some grapes. He's been overfed. He eats some grapes. He goes to a veterinary hospital, is taken care of, gets better, trains in agility, and goes to Philadelphia. So it's a Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, very Philly heavy episode, written by Christine Nangle, who I love. I know her from podcasts, but she was an SNL writer. She's co-executive producer, one of the head writers on The Simpsons. She's so funny. She's so funny.
So everyone's wearing like Liberty Bell pins.
So you know that's where they are.
Yeah.
It is so over the top. So I just have to play this for everybody. Now you know the setup. Here we go.
You gotta help my dog.
Take a number. We'll be with you as soon as possible.
But he ate a whole ambrosia with grapes.
What the hell did you do, lady? Code purple!
Give me 30 cc's of Pelastamine, 4 heliostic probes, and the most ultra-realistic, gory-looking stomach pump we've got. Where's the nice mousy intern who always maintains her youthful optimism in the face of constant trauma?
That would be me. May I say?
Shut up! We have a greyhound to save. Who's a good boy? You're a good boy. Cram that tube down his throat! Mrs. Simpson.
Yes?
I need you to answer me honestly. How many grapes did you put in that ambrosia?
The recipe calls for 24.
24? You gave him 24 grapes.
But one rolled under the refrigerator.
Oh, thank God. Then we got them all. We got them all! Yeah! Your pup is going to be just fine.
Oh, thank God.
If you'll excuse me, I have to go to a quiet room and cry because of what you did.
That's great.
So there are a few familiar voices in that episode. I just had to share with you and our listeners.
I love it. I feel like it's a rite of passage for shows when they go crazy viral for the people to suddenly appear on The Simpsons.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite Simpsons episodes is the X-Files crossover. A lot of fun facts, a lot of extra stuff today. I'm going to link to my favorite thing I found on the internet this week. It's from back in December, but the person who is the ASL director on the show for the ASL dubs, like I said, that you can find on HBO. That person, her name is Sarah Tubert, and she is the director of the ASL dubbing on season 2 of the Pitt, at least. But she released all of their name signs. So if you're somebody who is involved in the deaf community, a deaf person may and likely will give you a name sign so that you're not finger spelling your name always. And they're often, but not always, there's some shorthand ones that are typical, like if your name starts with an M, it might be one. But a lot of times they're based on your physical attributes or a certain characteristic. And I'll link to this video where we get to learn all of them because it's
nice,
so fun. But a couple that I just...
Is Mel's sadness?
No, Mel's is the letter M and then the letter K up by her eyes, I think probably because of her glasses. So it's stuff like that. Mateo's is a little curl by the side of his head because he's got curly hair. If you had to guess, what doctor is this?
Okay. Langdon.
Yes. Why?
Chin dimple.
Yeah. You sign doctor and point to your chin.
Yeah. So he's got the chin dimple.
Okay. And now how about this one?
Oh, Dr. Bangs.
So it's the letter
That's
M
good.
signed up with the Bangs. Dr. Bangs and Dr. Dimple really made me laugh.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I'll link to all of them. I also learned that they work with two doctors, Dr. Featherstone and Dr. Miras, who are, one of them is a coda and so that's a child of a deaf adult. They often grow up learning ASL fluently. It's often their first language, it would be for a deaf person, or not exactly but anyway. And then Dr. Miras, one of them is deaf, one of them is coda, and they do a lot of the translating the medical terminology into ASL because that's so specific. And new medical terminology comes up all the time. And Dr. Miras, I think, is the one who, just out in the medical world, is the one developing the language for ASL. So it's he's the expert.
That's cool.
Yeah. And
that's
so
really cool.
You've got people who are fluent in ASL and fluent in medical language and are practicing doctors working on all of that. So that's so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's my special little interest.
My special little interest right now is that they casually mentioned that they don't know where Digby is.
Oh, I thought they meant looking for a room for Digby.
They said they were looking to find Digby.
Oh.
I think he's in with Louie. I don't think it's a big mystery.
Oh, because they said they're getting a bed for, and so I just filled in the blank there. Oh, Digby.
Yeah. They need to find Digby, which means that he's in with Louie.
Yeah, of course.
To me. Yeah.
I'm sure you're right. Oh.
Well, we will see that next week, but where can they find us in the meantime?
They can find us WatchersPodNJ on Instagram and TikTok. They can email us, WatchersPodNJ. They can do something else.
They can call us.
They can call us. Why?
Or text.
They can call or text. Thank you so much for reminding me of that.
You got it.
They can call or text. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
And you can do that at 856-336-8986. I'm at
That's right.
AQ.
And I am Jody_Mim, JODIE_MIM on Instagram.
Melissa Joy, I'm sure you're so right. Hold on, I'm going to play it.
Hey, pals, it's Melissa Joy. I'm going to try this again. I think Dan is wearing the Liberty Bell because it's 4th of July.
Duh.
Let's say it's 2026, 250th year of America.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Take that what you will. But I think it's it's more a 4th of July thing. At least that's my thought from a costuming standpoint. Okay,
right.
bye.
Yeah.
Thank
She's
you,
so right.
Melissa. You're so right. But you have to admit, they're doing us dirty there.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
real dirtbag behavior.
I love it.
You're so
What a
right.
jack
Thank
off.
you, Melissa. I'm so glad you.
Yeah.
Man, all right. Well,
Yeah.
the mystery still persists then because I still.
That accent.
Yeah.
Baby Jane Doe. All right, guys.
Not Pittsburgh.
No. Until next week,
Until next week.
bang yourself in the head
Get in the car.
and go to New Jersey, where the Liberty Bell is not. But it's close by. You could go to New Jersey and then go to the Liberty Bell.
Easy peasy, 10 minutes. But Statue of Liberty, Liberty Island, fun fact, New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Not New York.